Howdy, everybody. Bob Harris here, senior editor of footballdiehards.com. It's time for our Ask Me Anything. We'll give it a few minutes here. I'll wait till the YouTube catches up. I know you all on Periscope, and there we are. We are live. Let me do a couple of maintenance items here before we get started. I hope everyone's doing good, having a good time, ready to kick a little ass this week. All right. Just getting up to speed here. Do a little retweeting and we'll get started. I see a couple of you showing up in the YouTube. I know some of the YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/footballdiehards. You can just Google it up. We're easy to find. You can ask me the directions directly in there. I see them longer. They persist, and I go through all the questions. So that might help you out a little bit. Emil Cadlick will be feeding me some of your key questions. And so we do have some questioners questioning already. So we'll get set and get started on this. Just a couple things. A few issues on the injury front for everybody. Everyone, I'm sure, knows Christian McCaffrey. Nick Chubb is in. Joe Mixon isn't. Miles Sanders is. Chris Carson up in the air. Kenyon Drake up in the air. Mark Ingram up in the air. David Johnson's out. David Montgomery's out. Kenny Galladay's out. So plenty to chew on there, and I'm sure that's creating lots of issues for all of you, like it's creating issues for me. The COVID issues seem minor this week, or at least not endangering any games. I know the Bills just had some positive tests in the Buccaneers, but so far so good on that. Still waiting for a couple guys to get activated. If they're going to get activated, it would have already happened. We're at the deadline, so Alan Lazard and Sony Michel kind of be watching for those guys here in the next few minutes. All right, Kevin O'Brien, would you play any of these quarterbacks over Big Ben this week? Probably Goff. I think Goff is about the extent of that list. Who is Tuna? Tell me who Tuna is. Maybe I would. Sean Mazuka dropped DJ Dallas or Carlos Hyde for Ryan Nall. So I think Ryan Nall is going to be the guy. I don't know if DJ Dallas is or is not yet, or if Hyde is going to be active. They're still kind of in the, with DJ Dallas, I mean, obviously his value is only valuable if there is no Chris Carson or Hyde. So, and we don't know that for sure yet. It seems like Carson's heading in the right direction. Nall is going to get a fair amount of play. They could promote Lamar Miller. I don't know that he would get a ton of play, but we've seen, in recent weeks, even guys like Alfred Morris come in for the Giants and get a little bit of run. Antonio Callaway just elevated to the roster in Miami. So there we go there. Kind of expected that. If you need a body that you think is going to get a good amount of work, yes, Ryan Nall is the guy. I mean, it would take a little of the uncertainty out of DJ Dallas and Carlos Hyde in that late afternoon window. I wouldn't be totally against that. McKissick and Kirk, or Ayuk and Gio Bernard, or Chark PPR? Wow, that's an odd question because I'm not sure what it means. Do I play McKissick, McKinnon, and Kirk, or Gio, Ayuk, and Bernard, or Chark? I would play McKissick. I would play McKinnon over McKissick, but I would Christian Kirk I would play. Brandon Ayuk I would play. I'm not there, CJ 230. Maybe you could re-ask that. Will Lamar Miller be signed? Could I start him over DJ? I don't know if he will be signed. They've talked about it being an option. And he is on the practice squad, so all they have to do is promote him, activate him, and they have through tomorrow to do that, or into Monday to do that. I don't know that you'll know in time to play him over Dallas. Chark or Kirk? I'm probably still playing Chark. Slight lean. He's healthy. There's a little bit of weather there. But I do like Kirk an awful lot this week, but that's my lean right now. All right. Jesse Cedillo. Running back, wide receiver flex. Currently has Duke Johnson benching Lindsey, Justin Jefferson, and Dobbins. Ooh. Man, Justin Jefferson. And it's hard to play Dobbins, right? And Lindsey's, I think you have the right guys there, Jesse. Kevin O'Brien, best running back play, full PPR, Duke Johnson, McKissick, or Dobbins. Duke Johnson for me. The Cleveland Browns haven't been great at stopping opposing defenses. By the way, I've written up some of this stuff. You'll 15% discount on that as well. if you use the promo code Diehards. Also, like this video, share this video, subscribe to this channel. It helps us with the algorithms and does us a little favor for maybe whatever we're doing for you, if you find that appealing. All right, so Charcoal, I hit that one. So CJ 230, give me that question again. I'm struggling with it. Tua, would I play Tua over any of those guys? I don't think I would, because it's Seattle. All right. Hey, Steve Linder. Shepard, Keenan Allen, Godwin, Brandon Cooks, Jefferson. I need 3 of them in a PPR. No, you're playing Keenan Allen every single week in a PPR, aren't you? So you don't need that many. I would play Allen, Cooks, and probably Jefferson for me. Or no, I'm sorry, I see Godwin there. So Allen, Godwin, and Cooks for me. Myers. I might stick with Myers. I know it's a really tough matchup, but just the workload. Look, so the thing about Ayuk is I think he's okay. I just don't think that offense is great, right? I don't think it's a dynamic, explosive offense. We did see some good plays from Richie James. What we heard from the TV announcing crew in that game was that Richie James was playing the Brandon Ayuk role. So if you're buying into that, sure, I would play. I'm probably playing the volume and going with Myers. I mean, it's been pretty phenomenal since he showed up, and I don't know that changes even if N'Keal Harry plays. Okay, need 3: McKissick, Gio, Bernard, or McKinnon. I think in this case, I need 2 of these 3. I think in this case, it'd be Gio and McKinnon for me on that one. And look, I think McKissick is a great play, a high floor play, especially with Alex Smith in. He seems to be dumping down. Maybe that changes a little bit with a full week of practice for him. It was something that we saw because it was last week and he was coming in out cold. But I think McKissick is going to be a high floor play. But I do like Gio and McKinnon. Matt Mayoko from NBC Sports Bay Area is predicting a big McKinnon workload week at least, if not a big production week. And we kind of saw that last week. Legs aren't tired anymore, it turns out. Lou Straz, start 3, non-PPR. Landry, Allen Robinson, Godwin, Mike Williams. Well, Allen Robinson is questionable, so this is going to be your risk tolerance, right? I don't see an option, a fallback option here. I think he's going to play. He's questionable. I don't know that he's going to play. So, if that's how if that's a concern of yours or you don't want to be that aggressive, well, if you want to play Robinson, probably Mike Williams would fall to the bottom for me. I think he's a great play any given week, but it's kind of been up and down for him. Jesse Cedillo again, Mark Andrews or Fant. I'm playing Fant this week, and this is a guy who is all invested in Mr. Mark Andrews. This isn't working yet, right? I got time to wait and see if it does. If I have a guy like Fant in there, I think it's a good week for him. The Pikey, hey Bob, need one flex in a half-point PPR. I want a half-point PPR. McKinnon, Gio, Chark, Tim Patrick, or Curtis Samuel. I'd probably go Gio in that one. Wouldn't talk you out of McKinnon. I think Gio's got the most certain workload. I know it's a tough matchup, but it's not impenetrable. We saw the Cowboys fare reasonably well against it last week. And Gio's had a really high floor with the reception. So with the receiving work. I know Samaje Perine clip. I could play Latavius Murray in an emergency any week. I think Jamal Williams has had a pretty good floor in PPR, but this is a half point. I'd probably go Murray in this one. Wouldn't talk you out of getting Ballage off waivers. I just don't know. We could have Troymaine Pope back this week. That would make it a 3-way split with him and Kelly. And Pope looked pretty good last time we saw him before he got the concussion. And so for the record, Pope is questionable. We'll see if he makes it. Expect a pretty full workload from Chubb. I know Mary Kay Cabot from the Cleveland Plain Dealer wrote that he looked fantastic. I know Ian Rappaport has suggested that he looks like his old self. He's working without a brace. So, look, they have the ability to work him into the mix, but it's a great matchup against the Texans. I wouldn't be dialing back on him. I would expect kind of something similar to what we were seeing before the injury with the share in the timeshare with Kareem Hunt. Let's see, Anthony Miller or Tim Patrick. Tim Patrick for me. Curtis Samuel, Marines Joe. Curtis Samuel or Dobbins is a flex. I think Mark Ingram might play. I'd be tempted to do Samuel. Look, neither of them are getting the kind of workload on a regular basis that you can trust, right? You live with a low floor, and if you need a swing for the fence play, I think that's Curtis Samuel every week. I hope that helps, Joe. I did the Anthony Miller, Tim Patrick. Joseph Janicki, Thielen, or Deontay Johnson. I could probably, just given the matchup, I'd probably go Deontay Johnson in this one. Would I play workload? Hey, Scott. Kevin O'Brien, would you Duke Johnson over argument? You know, if you have a good feel for that. I know there's going to be weather in Cleveland. I don't know if it messes up the short passes so much. I mean, it'd be pretty damn close. I played probably both of those guys over him. But you know, if you have a hunch, feel free. Everyone loves a revenge game, right? But one, Carson Edmonds or Gio Bernard. I'm playing the workload's going to be. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know if Carson is going to play. I don't know if Kenyon Drake is going to play. If Kenyon Drake wasn't playing, and I knew that for sure in advance, it would be pretty easy. But right now, based on our current knowledge. How's everyone doing? I hope everyone's doing well. Tua or Carr this week? I think I'm playing Carr. Look, I don't distrust him. We rank him fifth, so I don't know there's a wrong answer. I think Carr's been a really surprisingly solid play, you know, to see where Tua is really at. I mean, it looks good to me, right? You know, so I get it. Guy. So here we go. Chris Harson and Carlos Hyde are ruled out. This news just in. So that just made some decisions for a lot of people. Antonio Callaway be a league winner? I don't think so, but he can be a contributor for you. I need two of these three, Chark, Ayuk, or Cook. I'm probably sitting Ayuk of that bunch. You know, and look, you could make an argument that you want to play him ahead of Chark just with Jake Luton. Jair Alexander's out is kind of why I'm keen on playing Chark this week. It makes for a favorable matchup for him. And I think they're going to be throwing. They threw last week like crazy, and they're letting him put the ball down. So I hope you heard that. So Scott Kobe threw 2 of 3 at a PPR. Chark, Fulgham, John Brown, then Henry or Ebron. I'm probably playing Ebron over Henry. And I'm probably playing Chark and Fulgham of those two. I love John Brown. I think it's going to be a good game for him. But just as you look at, but certainly the roles. Earlier, I don't know if Kenyon Drake is playing or not. So you do have that option. And, you know, if you wanted to play Edmonds, they're playing each other. So you can wait and see the inactive status or active status of Kenyon Drake. If he's out, maybe you wanted to play Edmonds, feel free to play him. If Drake is in and there's, you know, some confusion there, why not play Zach Moss in that case? Hey, McKinnon or Duke? I'm probably playing Duke. Do you mean Justin Jackson? I guess. Sure. Feel free. Gesicki, Logan Thomas, or Jordan Reed? I'm probably playing Logan Thomas to that group, just the surest workload. I'm hoping for more from Jordan Reed, Sports and Digs. But Judy or Landry PPR, I'm probably playing Judy this week. Maybe gets a little tricky. He is listed as questionable. My expectation is he plays. If you want to play it safe, go ahead and play Landry. I think he has as solid a PPR floor as anybody in the league right now. Don't know that the matchup works. Bradley Roby is the guy that will, if he's playing, likely will cover him. So that's a little bit of concern. Why do the Chargers hate Josh Kelly? It's not Kelly they hate, Mark Spafford. It's me, PPR. I'm probably still going to lean that's really close. I mean, go ahead and play your gut on that one. I have them both as running back twos. Gibson has been giving way to McKissick at some point. I don't think you'll see Duke sharing a lot. So if that's the way you want to go, I certainly wouldn't talk you out of it. All right, Kevin, one more. Gio Bernard over Moss this week. Yes, for me. Steve Lindard, pick 2. Lazard, Slayton, Jacoby Myers. I haven't seen anything coming across the phone or the notifications yet that Lazard has been activated. If it happened, it already happened. I'm probably don't feel a need to force him into lineups this week, so I'd probably go Slayton and Myers. I know it's a tough matchup for Slayton, so I get it. Maybe if Lazard is active and we find that out at some point during this chat, or short activated. If not, I'm not going to report non-news, but he is. My guess is the talk last night was, maybe they've been cautious all along, so maybe they'll be cautious again. Kevin, full PPR, Zach Moss or Jamal Williams? I'm probably still playing Zach Moss over Jamal Williams. Any of these guys, says Jesse Cedillo, worth grabbing from waivers and stashing? Antonio Brown, yes. Curtis Samuels, yes. Alshon Jeffrey, I'm not so sure. Michael Pittman. So I was talking about this last night on the SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio, where I have a show. If you don't listen, go listen to it. It's called Football Diehards. If you're a subscriber, you can do it on demand. Also be answering questions for like an hour and a half there. Pittman, so it seems like this Colts receiving core is going to be like the backfield. You're not going to know any given week which guy is going to be the main threat, except it's not going to be Jonathan Taylor. But you see what Pittman every week. I need one to start. As a flex, Sterling Shepard, DJ Moore, Ruggs, Curtis Samuel. I'm probably still playing DJ Moore. Maybe I'm putting too much into the matchup here. Philadelphia. Shepard's likely to see. Maybe Slayton sees more of Darius Slay. I could go Shepard. Probably. Look, DJ Moore, I think, is fine. And I think you could play. He's been doing it on a thin band of opportunities, right? So I question whether that's sustainable. Not saying it's impossible because clearly he's done it. So if you have that hunch, feel free to play it. I don't like the matchup that much for Carolina this week, though, going against the Buccaneers. Joseph Janicki, Hunt or Gio, PPR or flex. I'm probably still playing. Johnson has been more of the double-digit target guy than Curtis Samuel. He does get some carries. He does have some huge touchdown upside. So, again, not going to talk anyone out of Curtis Samuel. Just going to remind you the workload, the touches, the opportunities. He needs to be super efficient. He has been. He can be. I don't know if this is the matchup for it to happen. Antonio Brown. I'd probably lean Judy, but I wouldn't talk you out of Kirk. Antonio Brown, I think, is going to be a solid play. I expected more from him last week. It looks like there's a lot of mouths to feed in that offense. You'll be surprised to learn. And there's going to be weeks where Antonio Brown comes up big. And I think for the same reason we talked about last week, Tom Brady wants him to. Tom Brady's invested. You almost see a little bit of friction, if not spoken. And Brady, who wanted Antonio Brown there, who's letting Antonio Brown live in his house, has ample reason for Antonio Brown to succeed because he's the driving force. So, I mean, if you're buying into that narrative, and I'm not saying it's not real, then sure. But I just think from week to week, it's going to be because of all the targets there. In this case, Judy and Kirk, I think, you're thinking DeAndre Hopkins is going to drop. So he's being left home along with the tight end Tyler Kroft. So maybe that's an even better matchup for Christian Kirk. So that's kind of what I'm leaning on that one. And Judy's workload has been fantastic. If Drew Lock was more accurate, Jerry Jeudy would be the best rookie in the NFL of receivers. Willie, hello, Willie. You need 2 for flex and 2 for running back. So you need 4 altogether? Goddard, McKinnon, Ryan Nall, Melvin Gordon, Edmonds, or Kenyon Drake. Well, I'd take Kenyon Drake and Edmonds so these are really complicated questions, to work through for this format. So, if you're interested, you can go to the Football Diehards website. We have a flex rankings on our staff cheat sheet that would help you out. I'll try to work through these, but the more complex, Goddard, McKinnon. So I'm going to play McKinnon over Melvin Gordon. I'd play Edmonds if there was no Kenyon Drake, right? So, I mean, that's where we get into the trickiness. So then things change completely. So, man, Willie, narrow it down. Give me a couple either-ors and break it up a little bit for me because I'm struggling, obviously. Let's see. McKinnon or Godwin, PPR flex. I'd probably lean McKinnon in this one. And wouldn't talk you out of Godwin. They are willing to predict anything about the running backs because they've gotten hosed by Kyle Shanahan. They're reluctant to go out on a limb. So to see one do that, I'm kind of following that. So that's where I'm at on this one. And, look, he's got good, receiving upside in PPR, at least gives you a little floor there. I know there was some talk of getting him isolated if they play Quan Alexander, the former 49er, the linebacker, try to get McKinnon isolated on him and to get some favorable matchups. Sorry, Willie, I don't mean to bail on you. It's just a and I would want to play Edmonds in that matchup if there was no Kenyon Drake. And so that would change everything else in the list. Tough one. Need 2. James Robinson, Josh Jacobs, Antonio Gibson, Miles Sanders. I'm probably playing Jacobs, slight lean over Miles Sanders. Would have talked you out of Sanders. I think we have them ranked consecutively, both 11 and 12, right in that range. So there's that. Jeffrey Cooperman, sorry, man. Need 2 of these guys. Mike Williams, John Brown, Antonio Brown, AJ Green. Probably playing John Brown. Probably a slight lean to Mike Williams there over AJ Green. T. Higgins or the good flex play this week over Jacoby Myers? I don't think so. Look, I think I put in the notes on our staff rankings. Fringe player with a great matchup, right? And that's what he is. And there you have the dichotomy here. Jacoby Myers is a fringe player in a great matchup. I'm leaning. I tend to play workloads, guys. So you'll notice this when I'm answering questions a lot. I kind of follow the logic. When I do this, I'm not being dismissive of your hunches, man. We all like to play our hunches. That's part of the fun of the game. So put the hammer down and drop it on your hunch. doesn't mean I'm telling you not to play your hunch. It's your team. You get to play what you want. I would play why I would play them and let you make the decision. City by the May missed my answer. Curtis Samuel or Diontae Johnson? I'm playing Diontae Johnson. I'm playing the workload. It's kind of just as I just explained in that one. I love Curtis Samuel. Them little jet sweeps, or they run him out of the backfield on the shotgun. It's a tough matchup against the Buccaneers, and solid for Diontae Johnson over time. All right. Okay, so Kerry Mulder, need one. Thielen, Diontae Johnson, Marquise Brown, or Antonio Brown against running backs. So I'm going to probably play Diontae Johnson in this one. And it's not that horrible. In my flex, Myers or Curtis Samuel, I'm playing Myers in that one for the reason I just outlined. And now with Carlos Hyde out, start Dallas, Gus, or pick up Breida. I'd be fine starting Dallas. I don't know if Breida's going to play. He's questionable. I'll know it's really a four-way split when you include Lamar Jackson, but we don't know about Mark Ingram yet. Too many cooks spoil the soup. I don't know. Or they just confuse me. One or the other. But that's kind of where I'm at that. I'd probably, Dallas seems like the surest thing of that group. I know it's a tough matchup for the Seattle offense. And they have some offensive line issues there. Let's not. My cats are fantastic. Thank you so much for asking. I appreciate it. All right, so Fanter got, hopefully TJ Hawkinson, my tight end 2 plays. Darren Waller is my tight end 1. Leonard Fournette or DeAndre Swift, full PPR. I'm probably playing Swift. It's a tough matchup. I'm hoping he gets a more complete workload. I know Fournette has the better matchup. Look, both these guys are sharing, right? And I'm just going in the PPR. I'm probably going Swift. This is really close, Kevin. Matt Rust, there he is. With Carson out, do I stick Homer, Latavius Murray, Balaj, or Gus Edwards? Blah! I might play Murray out of that bunch, but I mean, there's not a good answer here, right? Balaj, last week's Balaj is the answer. But you can't play last week. It's stupid. I should probably look more closely before I say stupid stuff. But that's my gut feeling on that, Matt. Let me know what you're doing, and we'll talk it through. Okay, John, flex, standard, Swift or Diontae Johnson. I'm probably slightly lean to Kevin O'Brien. Mike Davis or Josh Jacobs this week, full PPR. I'm probably going to give Davis a chance in this one. I mean, he's full workload. It's been not great, but just give him the little bit of a receiving edge in a full PPR. Jacobs has been really solid, though, so I think you have a high floor with Jacobs. Davis, I mean, the last 3 games weren't great. So I guess maybe I'm letting that stick in my mind. The initial run was fantastic. Last 3, not great. I think the PPR floor is what I'll hope for in this one, and slight lean to him, ever so slight. Scott has Daryl Henderson. Would it be okay to play both Malcolm Brown and Henderson, or go with one of the Seattle backs? As long as those Seattle backs aren't Carson or Hyde, yes, it would be okay to go with one of them. I have no problem playing Malcolm and Henderson, though, both. You just know you need a big game from that offense in general, right? Let's see. Given the toe injury, would you play Hawkinson if he suits up? Yeah, so it's an early kickoff there, and if you have Logan Thomas on the bench, I probably would have a great deal of confidence. So this will be a good idea to go through this one. So as a general rule of thumb, if 2 guys are fairly even, in my view, and one is nicked up or not completely healthy, I play the healthy one. If one is clearly superior to the other one, I'm willing to open that up a little more, right? And in this case, I think Hawkinson is that much better than Logan. Logan Thomas would be the safe play there, John, if that's how you prefer to play. And look, I don't think that's totally crazy. University Blue, how are you? Fuller, Diontae Johnson, T. Higgins, Hollywood Brown need 2. Fuller for sure. Even in bad weather at this moment, he seems unstoppable. I'm playing Diontae Johnson over T. Higgins. I would not blame you for playing T. Higgins over Diontae Johnson, right? I mean, so a lot of the reasons I'm playing Johnson is just his workload has been really solid as long as he's been healthy and on the field seems to be playing mostly. Doesn't obviously keep Chase Claypool from having big games, right? It doesn't mean James Washington can't steal a touchdown. So there are a lot of mouths to feed there as well. I just prefer the matchup slightly to Higgins and the role. And Hollywood Brown, it's been brutal, right? Him and Andrews both. What are we doing, people? And, we heard Lamar Jackson complain that opposing defenses know what the play calls are. And just some interesting back and forth there. If you'll remember, going back, I know I'll catch up on questions, but we have like we had the offensive coordinator, Greg Roman, back when he was in San Francisco. He designed that offense that Colin Kaepernick was so successful in. Teams took the offseason, figured it out. Colin Kaepernick wasn't as good. Now we come to this next stop, and he had a stop in Buffalo in between and did. Let me catch up on the questions. By the way, you can like this video on the YouTube. You can share it as well. You can subscribe to our channel. All those things would be helpful to us. Thank you for the Asian rat. Lamar or Rodgers? I'm playing Rodgers this week, even in bad weather. So I'm probably playing the two running backs for workload. I'm not playing. Slayton is like last on the list just because I think the Darius Slay, he'll get the Darius Slay treatment, and that will not go well for him. That's Justin Jackson on IR now, so he'll miss at least 3 weeks. Eckler seemed to be in a straight line. I don't know how fast it was. Some people thought it looked faster than I did. Josh Allen or Russell Wilson? Well, that's a horrible decision to have to make. Why aren't you trading one of those guys, MJK2288? I'll play Allen this week. Predict the future with that level of granularity suggests that that I'm an idiot for standing here talking to you guys when I can predict the future with that level of granularity. I'd be doing rich person things. But no, honestly, I think I like Josh Allen in this game. I hope he can keep his role going. Best matchup, right? And offensive line issues are a concern for me. So yes, I would play him over both of those people this week, probably every week. As long as he keeps the job. They need to win a game pretty soon. Willie needs 2 between Gio, Antonio, Jamal Williams, Zach Moss, and a full PPR. I'd go Gio and Zach Moss probably in order of workloads. If you feel a hunch on Antonio Brown, you feel free to play it. Do I expect a big game for Dallas Goedert? They've been tight end heavy, and maybe they get back to being tight end heavy. And in that case, Dallas Goedert's going to eat, but it just seems like Carson Wentz is playing better. It coincides with Travis Fulgham showing up and playing really well. Maybe Goddard works his way back into the good graces. I suspect he will, but I don't think it's going to be to that same degree. So in terms of big game, yeah, he could score any given week. It's kind of not a horrible matchup. The Giants are tougher than we think. I mean, the Giants, the football team, both of, and Philadelphia for that matter, all play pretty good defense. Dallas is the team in that division that can't. All right, Travis Homer, PPR, non-PPR, I don't know. I'm playing DJ Dallas over Homer, so maybe that answers Mark Spafford's question as well. I mean, that's, we're down in guessing range, Mark, right? I mean, I think I'm just going to look up and check Murray's numbers, but I mean, my feeling is he has a kind of a reasonable floor with a little bit upside. It's not the toughest matchup for him. You can check it out. So just looking at the carries, 15, 3, 15, 8. I mean, it's been kind of double digit stuff. And by the way, there we go. The other shoe drops in Seattle where Alex Collins has been activated. So he'll be in the mix as well, along with DJ Dallas and Travis Homer. So that makes me dial back on Homer. I think it's, I think Alex Collins to do anything but muddy the water and kind of make them all a little less appealing. All right. Willie, need 1 wide receiver, 2, and 1 flex. Tim Patrick, Grieger, Antonio Brown, Malcolm Brown. I'm probably playing the PPR. Do you like better Kirk and Josh Norman stayed at home. I'm expecting Tre'Davious White to be covering DeAndre Hopkins, so that leaves a pretty good matchup for Kirk, right? So that's why I'm leaning that way. Malcolm, Jerry Jeudy has a lot to play for, right? This is a great, he's playing his former Alabama teammates, Henry Ruggs, in Las Vegas. But he's a little bit of them, so I'm going to play the healthier one. And also the one with the slightly better quarterback named Kyler Murray. Should I drop Jonathan Taylor to pick up Hines? Sure, if you want, Fernando. I mean, I think right now your expectation, you're seeing what's going on here, right? Jonathan Taylor is clearly not the lead man here. He's not a must-keep player. I think Hines, conversely, is going to have big games. I don't know that you're going to be able to predict that week to week, what games are going to be big or not. But I wouldn't talk you out of doing this. Would I play Herbert over Breeze or Brady this week? For the second time, yes, I would play Breeze and Brady this week and probably every week. Sean S., I think it's Sean, if I remember, S. Mazuka. Thin at running back, J.K. Dobbins, Travis Homer, Ryan Nell, Joshua Kelly. I'm probably playing Dobbins in that one and hoping for the best. Oh, I got it. Slayton or Damian Harris? Well, I'm pretty sure I have to play Slayton in that one because I don't know if Darian hit. I love Kirk. You have Gio. I'm probably going Gio here. Look, it's a really tough matchup. So I think all these guys are great plays. Maybe it depends on you want. If you just want a solid PPR floor, I think Gio's going to have that. CJ 230, you're going to be there. We know the Pittsburgh defense is tough, but not impenetrable, according to the Dallas Cowboys offense, which was not a good offense and still got something done, especially the running backs as receivers. Man, I really want to play Fulgham and Kirk, but I get it. Probably Gio is the safe play. Running back. So Willie, I think, what we know at this minute, Ryan Nall is going to get the bulk of the carries there, right? What I don't know is the possibility of Lamar Miller being promoted to the active roster. I also don't know what kind of role he's capable of playing coming in off the practice squad. So, they were talking him up a little bit today. So that's a little bit of a concern for me. I think Nall is right. Ayuk or Judy, probably leaning Judy. He is questionable, so you probably need to watch. On the game broadcast, I mentioned it earlier, in that the game plan, the position Richie James was playing was basically designed for Ayuk, so he would have been the guy getting all those targets and having all those opportunities. Will it be the same game plan against the Saints? I don't know that it will be, but it might be. Will Michael P. ride rest of season? I think they would like him to play a leading role. We'll see if Adam Gase allows that to happen. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't, right? Also, my expectations are very low for anyone playing offense for the New York Jets. They don't score a lot of touchdowns. They're not a good offense. So, I want to say McKissick. Just the workload has been pretty phenomenal for him, right? It's hard to overlook that. Just go here. It's been pretty impressive. Checking my rankings. Hold on. You can check my rankings too, by the way. Free. FootballDiehards.com/free trial. You can do the same thing I'm doing right now. I'm doing this. It's very helpful. And you can do it on your own time. And my gut feeling is like McKissick is the high floor play. I love Higgins. Maybe he's the ceiling play. Even in a tough matchup, he seems like, they've got something going on there. So, but not as good as the other two. So that's probably the order I would go in. Is YouTube working weird for everyone else, or is it just me? All right, still waiting for some more questions here. I don't know, maybe everyone else is having the same issues with YouTube that I'm having, I'm here for more questions. I'll stick around for another 20 minutes if you have more thoughts on Mike Dempsey's golf game. So take that for what it's worth. He plays a lot of golf. Hits a lot of buckets of balls, that guy. Checking to see. Still haven't seen anything. Just double checking on some of these other players. So we know about Hyde. We know Justin Jackson now placed on IR, and Antonio Callaway promoted the active roster. So no Lazard that I've seen. No Sony Michel that I've seen. So that kind of clarifies maybe a little bit on the Damian Harris question from earlier. Maybe there's a little more hope than he looked. That looked like such a huge hit, right? So it was that was a little concerning to me when he got hit. I wasn't sure he was going to get up from that one, and he did. And now it looks like he may have a good chance of playing. First chance I get. So apologies there. Maybe on the replay it won't be as bad if you replay to the point where you ask the question. So Balaj, Nall, Damian would like to play Ryan Nall because I think he gets a full workload in a decent matchup. What happens between now and Monday night, I'm not sure. So if you don't trust that he's going to get that full workload, he is next man up. Will they use Cordero Patterson? Probably so. Is it possible how much does he put in? A handful of carries. Maybe he just comes in and takes a full load. So that's the confusion for me. Maybe the best play is to, maybe go with Damian Harris if he's inactive. You can wait and see if Ingram is active. If Ingram is inactive, you can go with Gus Edwards. And then, and I know I'm leaving Balaj off here, and he looked great last week. In general, my feeling is Kalen Balaj has been on a practice squad for a reason, right? So, is a good game possible? Yes, anytime, any running back can have a good game. Am I expecting that every week? No. If I was expecting that every week, I think he would already be on a roster. So that's where I'm at on that, Jeffrey. So I mean, I don't think you've got a range of guys with questions surrounding each. So that's kind of how I would run through the situation. Maybe Edwards being the best, Harris being the best play if he's active. Maybe Edwards being the next best play if Ingram is inactive and Harris is inactive, and maybe Nall being the next best play, not knowing what the hell they're going to do between now and Monday night. Probably lack of high-end players, especially at quarterback in San Francisco. So, yeah, I wouldn't talk you out of that. Which rookie wide receiver do you think will have the biggest second year? I mean, I think Judy is the best, when you watch him. I mean, he's getting open all the time. His quarterback needs to hit him more. So I lean towards, look, Judy's great. CeeDee Lamb is going to be great. Justin Jefferson's going to be great. Henry Ruggs, I think, couldn't be great, but I kind of think he's made, I know they say he's not a one-trick pony, but he kind of seems like it, right? I think, we'll see over time where Laviska Shenault's at. I mean, maybe he's the guy that's easy to sleep on because he's kind of a multi-purpose weapon, and he plays for Jacksonville. So he's a guy. Andrea needs 2 wide receivers playing Duke Johnson in the flex. For sure, and I'm probably playing, look, all those guys are in the same kind of range for me. I'll probably sit Juju, but honestly, you could sit AB and just think it's a lot of mouths to feed. That's probably the smartest choice, is sitting AB. DJ Moore has a very tough matchup against the Buccaneers, so, it just seems, I would not be surprised if at the end of every week we're looking at every receiver in Tampa Bay having 5 targets, right? It's going to be hard to figure out. Didn't see you with YouTube not working. Oh, dude, I have to do that again. I'm going to do this one more time, Jeffrey. I'm sorry the YouTube's not working. It's a complicated question with a lot of variations. So if Damian Harris is active and I have confidence that he's going to play a full workload, yes, I want to play him. If not, and Mark Ingram is not back, I'd probably play Gus Edwards. And if he's not active, I'd probably switch to Ryan Nall and hope that they're not going to cut into his workload with Lamar Miller. Or if I see that Lamar Miller is not promoted at some point between now and Sunday night, maybe I would just go with him. I've talked through the Balaj over and over again, but I think there's probably a reason he's on the practice squad. So that's kind of the order. Couldn't hear that one. Best tight end this week in a full PPR, Austin Hooper for me. Hi, Hector. Judy, AB or D Swift? Probably. So Judy is, beat up, has the shoulder issue, right? I haven't seen a report of it. Judy, AB or D Swift? I'm probably slightly into D Swift. I think these guys are all AB. I think there's a game to be had here at some point. I think predicting when it's going to come is going to be very tough. So probably if I had to order them, it would be Swift, Judy, and AB. And I will just check the Packers feed just to make sure that they haven't snuck one by. Checking the Packers. Packers have made no announcement. Oh, they have made an announcement. Devontae Adams. They activated Christian. Here we go. They did make moves. Christian Kursky, the linebacker. They didn't. All right, we got a few more minutes here. I do apologize for the problems with YouTube. Frustrating for me as it is for you because answering some of these questions are very tough. I've seen the footballdiehards.com website. Go there. Every question that you've asked me here is rankings. Our rest of season rankings, brand new thing that Emil Cadlick put together has been fantastic. So check all that out. Go to footballdiehards.com/free trial if you like what you see and you want to make a purchase. Use the promo code DieHard. Also, check back on Sunday morning. We have they'll go through all the latest lineup situations, look at DFS ownership values, very helpful things. So check out our DFS ownerships on the sites as well. Useful indeed. Any more on the Periscope? Seems like not a lot of questions, so I think we will wrap this one up for today. Sorry it was short. Hope it was sweet. Hold on, got one more here. A-Rob is questionable. Mooney, yeah, Mooney's a good play. I like Gio this week, so, but I mean the chance to play A-Rob in this matchup. The list is fairly short. Let me bring it up. Dalvin Cook, Aaron Jones, Derrick Henry was one. James Robinson, Alvin Kamara. Those are my top plays, and so Henry has already obviously played. Afternoon kickoff. So if I knew for sure there wasn't going to be no Drake, or I found that out in advance, 7 kick 8, I would definitely play Edmonds, right, in a standard. I think that's a fair point. But Duke is going to be fine in a standard too. So probably the safer play there. Should get the full workload. Even you would think Edmonds and Drake would split even if Drake is active. Would I start DJ Dallas over Darrell? I know YouTube is having a lot of glitches and it's causing a lot of problems. Diggs or Hopkins? I'm going to take Hopkins in this one. I know it's Tre'Davious White. There isn't a wrong answer here. They're both in my top 5. So Patrick Peterson's a pretty tough matchup too. Diggs has been pretty much unstoppable. I rank them 2 and 3. So a decent game from Lockett most every week, but I realize it's been uneven and inconsistent. So, I mean, I would have to know any pivots before I decided to turn away from him. But I think in general, I'm playing that weekly upside that he has playing in that offense. Even with a tough matchup, I think he can fare reasonably well at times. I'd probably play Dobbins. I mean, Ryan Nall is the guy I want to play. If you're worried about Lamar Miller, as other questioners have been, then I'd probably play Dobbins. I don't have any trust in Homer, and I have very little trust in Joshua Kelly. I think either of them are capable of solid games. I just think it's a fool's errand. Right, and I'm saying I would probably play, I mean, Patterson's in the mix. Artavis Price is in the mix. I don't expect anything from those guys other than gadget plays for Patterson. So assuming the possibility, and that's the only thing, my only concern here, is they mentioned it as a possibility. They haven't done it. They might not do it, right? So, I mean, maybe where things change, you might want to check the footballdiehards.com website. As we head up to kickoff, there will be more information forthcoming on all these situations, I can assure you, because I will be writing it all. Pre-game video tomorrow. I'll be talking about it on the pre-game radio, and I do have some articles up already on all this on the Football Diehards website. Will Damian Harris play, and will he be worth rostering? I don't know if Damian Harris will play. He's listed as questionable. He practiced on a limited basis all weekend. I didn't promote Sony Michel that I've seen yet, so I'm guessing he will play. It's only a guess. If he does play, got to trade for Edmonds for McKissick PPR. Do I take it? Look, I think McKissick has value going forward in the role that he limited at some point by Drake. So, the McKissick side of this in PPR seems pretty reasonable. A league winner, if something happens to Drake or Drake continues to struggle and Edmonds gets the bulk of the workload, there's just less certainty there. There's more certainty in McKissick to me, how I see it. So that's kind of the way I would look at that trade. Full PPR over Claypool or Deontay Johnson. That's pretty damn close. Yeah, I would play Robbie Anderson, even in a tough matchup. Alshon Jeffrey's worth the pickup flyer. Yes, he's going to have a role. I don't know how big it'll be, and I don't think it'll be immediate. Doug Peterson basically said, the last couple days that they have a plan and they're going to ramp him up over time. And again, sorry for the YouTube quality today. Don't know what the issue is there. So maybe if the replay will work better if you couldn't hear your answer over the course of the hour. Call it an hour. I'm going to call it a little short. Hopefully YouTube will work a little better next week and you can actually hear the answers and we will have not used this hour fruitlessly. I hope the replay is more. Check out the replay if you get a chance. Maybe the replay will play more continuously as, once it's up and running and you can review the answers. And I don't mind repeating them. I just wish the technology is working better. It's disappointing to spend this time. Subscribe to the channel. I'll be back next week, 4 p.m. Eastern time. In the interim, Plenty of videos going up on the footballdiehards.com website. Go check it out. Use footballdiehards.com/free trial. In the meantime, subscribe to this channel, hit the like button, share these videos. It helps us out with the algorithm. Check out all our other channel. There's some great stuff. Jen Ryan's Prop Bet shows. John Lobb doing both college football and DFS. We've got Kyle Dvorak and Jason Brady doing DFS early in the week. We've got the pregame show every week with Emil Kadlik and Jason Brady going over ownership percentages. It's very important when you're setting your DFS lineup, having a good understanding of the ownership. And you'll find that on the Football Diehards website, too.